guys, today I'm going to give you some advice on cheap book buying in the UK. I've seen videos similar to this in America. A lot of people talk about a book outlet and things like that, and we don't have that in the UK, and I'm always so jealous of people's big book outlet hauls where they get books for like a couple of dollars. We don't really have an equivalent in the UK. There is some websites similar, but they don't have the kind of choice. But as you know, I have a huge TBR, and that's because I buy a lot of books, but I'm a student and I don't really have any money, so I thought I'd share my tips on how to get some books for cheaper in the UK. What first inspired me to do this video was because whenever I go to Tesco, I always go to the books. And if you have a Tesco near you, or probably other supermarkets, Tesco specifically have a 2 for £7 offer on basically all of their paperbacks. And they do have a teen bit as well, but that's sometimes got some good things in. Like currently it had like Rebel Sands, which is a brand new book, whereas I got these two from the adult section, Moriarty by Anthony Horowitz and You've Been Publicly Shamed by John Ronson. Both books I wanted for a really long time, and I got both these for £7, which is cheaper than buying one of them in the likes of Waterstones. So I think you should definitely go to supermarkets, because you'd be surprised, especially the big huge versions of the shops, because they can have a lot of books for really good bargains. And I probably won't read these straight away, but they're ones I know I want to read in the future, so I kind of always go in Tesco, and £7 doesn't really feel like a lot for 2 books, you know, it's such a good offer. Or they're like £3.85 each, which again is fine if you just want the one, so definitely check out supermarket. Be surprised kind of books you can get in there, things like the whole Game of Thrones series, really popular new thrillers like The Girl on the Train and Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson, they're always in there. And yeah, the YA ones, around like film releases you can get things like Divergent, Paper Towns, or like the new movies that come out, and they normally stock the books. And also autobiographies, things like the YouTuber books, Carrie Hope Fletcher and Dan and Phil. Their hardbacks are a bit more expensive, but it's still you shouldn't immediately just think of bookshops for books, because you'd be surprised how good supermarkets are. But my second tip is there is actually a really good bookshop that you've probably seen around if you live in the UK, and that is The Works. They stock a lot of gifts and stationery and DVDs, but their books can also be really good. You do have to hunt a bit in The Works. They have lots of kind of cheesy books, but I bought the whole Mortal Instruments series from here, 3 for £5, so I got the first 6 books for a tenner, which is just such a good offer. And so if you something like that, like a series you want to get into, they can be really good for that. But if you do want to support bookshops, you should also support local independent bookstores if you have one, but I don't really have any local bookshops near me, so I tend to go to Waterstones if I want a proper browse in the bookshop. So my third tip though is to get a points card, especially if you're a student. I think even college students can get the student points card, and I don't know the difference, but you get 10 times the amount of points you normally would. So this really builds up. I bought a book and I went, oh, I'll use the points on my card, thinking it had about £3, and I had £17 saved up, because it's just crazy the amount of points you can accumulate. And they also have this little stamp pack where for every £10 you spend you get a stamp, and then if you get 10 stamps you get a £10 off voucher. So it's just little ways like that where if you're just really on the ball with the point system and stuff, you can save so much money. I'll go into Waterstones with a gift card for my birthday, my stamps and my points, and I can come away with 5 books and it'll only cost me £5 or something like that, and that's proper full price, and you get the full selection to choose from, so that's definitely something to look out for. My fourth tip is Amazon and the Book Depository, but mainly Amazon. I know a lot of people don't like buying books and supporting such a big company because the authors get less money and things like that, but Amazon, sometimes they have this 3 for £10 deal where you can get such good books. I remember I got The Queen of the Tearling, Landlines by Rainbow Rowell, and I think The Girl on the Train, all for £10, which is just again such a good offer. It's similar to what you might get in The Works. And they're brand new, you can choose and browse, so if they have the book offers, always check those, because if you just put the time in you can find some books that you actually really want for half the price of what you normally. But I know still buying books is money, and money can be a very difficult thing, especially if you don't have a job and you're a student, anything like that. Affording books and even affording booktube has been a discussion, because you just see these people buying books all the time who are getting paid for their videos. It seems unfair that people can't always afford the books, so don't forget to borrow from nice friends and go to the library, because you'd be amazed at how many great books are in the local library. Like mine has all the Andrew Smith books, and you know, authors you hear about on booktube that you wouldn't expect are actually stocked in the library. And there's definitely no shame in like going to the library. I know for some reason there seems to be like, oh, it's not your book though if you buy it, but if you read it and enjoy it, you can always buy it at a later date. If you see it cheap somewhere, like in a charity shop or in the works, you can always go out and buy your own copy if you really enjoyed it. But I do buy too many books. My TBR is a bit too big, so I should probably take my own advice and use the library more. But also my final tip, if you just have nice friends, like me and Amy now, we don't ever really own the same books. We always just borrow from each other, like we buy different things, and then if one of us wants to read it, they just borrow it, because there's no point us both owning the same books really. If we can just share them, like she likes to break the spine, but if she knows that I don't like that, so if she's borrowing my book, she'll read it really carefully. So if you just have considerate, bookish friends, you can just get into a system of like trusting them and lending out and borrowing books. And you know, sometimes your books might get a little bit damaged, but at the end of the day, books, that's just how, they're not like meant to be pristine really. They get wrecked really easily. So that is definitely a good way of reading lots of different books that you might not own yourself. So I think that's all the tips I've got for you. Let me know down below if there's any really good websites or any other ways that specifically people in the UK can get cheap books, because I know in America there seems to be a lot more like discount book websites and things like Walmart that stock all the amazing books you hear about on booktube, and then over here you hear about a lot of books on booktube and sometimes they don't even have them in Waterstones because it can be pretty hard to find. But hopefully this has helped some of you think of some new ways to buy books and don't always immediately go to the really expensive like £9 book in Waterstones. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye!